Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Lewis Speaks 2024. And right now, I just want to speak to y'all because right now I'm being tempted with desires of the flesh. As I mentioned in previous videos, I once upon a time lived my life as a gay man, and I've decided to no longer walk in that path and on that journey because I felt like it was no longer helpful for me. It was taking me away from my purpose and my mission, and it was just taking me away from God. Um, right now, as I mentioned, I am struggling with desires, you know. Um, it's not easy having to always resist and rebuke those desires. What I've done to, I guess, deal with those desires, I have read, I've done my laundry, I've cleaned, and they're still here. You know, I definitely went in prayer to my Heavenly Father, and I'm going to work in harmony with that prayer. And that's why I'm here now. I'm here now working in harmony with that prayer. And I wanted to make this video because I know that there are so many other young men and boys out there who are struggling with their same-sex desires. And they feel as though no one understands. They feel as though there is no remedy. There is no solution. They feel trapped by their desires. And I felt that way too. I felt there were times when I cried out to God and I asked Him, please help me with this. Help me remove these desires from me. And they still were there. They still were present. And then I have to remember, you know, an example in the Bible, Paul. You know, he struggled with a thorn in the flesh. Now, in the scriptures, it doesn't really detail what that thorn was, but Paul, he struggled with the thorn, and God did not remove that thorn. He said His grace was sufficient, you know? And I asked myself, why didn't God remove that thorn? You know, it was like something that kept slapping Paul. It was nagging him. Why didn't God remove that? And from what I gather after reading that account, God didn't remove that thorn because that thorn was instrumental in Paul being able to relate to the struggles of other people and being able to assist those who struggle with similar thorns. Oftentimes, people get very forgetful once they get healed. They forget what it's like to experience difficulty and experience turmoil. When you think about your parents, if you are a young person, oftentimes, you know, children, they feel like their parents just don't understand. And in some ways they don't. Sometimes parents, they forget what it's like to be a kid. They forget what it's like because they've moved on. They've healed from childhood. You know, because childhood can at times be an affliction that we all want to heal from and grow from. And so sometimes parents, they heal from the insecurities and the doubts and the loneliness, and they forget what it's like for children. And so I say that to say that sometimes God does not remove the thorns in our flesh because they serve as a reminder of our humanity. And they keep us humble, they keep us teachable, and they keep us reachable, and they keep us relatable. Sometimes those thorns can be used to help other people, help them and serve as a guide out of the wilderness of their experience. So I'm sitting with that right now, that piece of wisdom that God blessed me with. What has helped in terms of dealing with the temptations and the cravings to have sex with other men is reminding myself why I no longer wanted to identify myself as a gay man? What made me decide to no longer partake in the life? What made me decide is I got tired. I got tired of the empty encounters. I got tired of the lies. I got tired of just the loneliness I felt after these encounters. You get up from the bed and you feel a sense of relief. You just came. You feel relief. But then a couple of hours, couple of days later, you just feel this profound sense of emptiness and longing, which you tend to fill with another empty encounter. You go out there, you find another boy, and you enjoy him, but then it just keeps on making you feel emptier with every encounter. And the thing is, I feel like sometimes a penis is like a shovel. It basically digs you into a deeper hole under this guise of giving you something. Because when we think about it, I'm going to be real graphic right now. So this is your hole, right? This is a penis. The penis is giving you. You think it's giving you, but really there's a hook on it. And there's a hook, and it's hooking, and it's taking from you, and it's taking. It's pulling out your spirit. It's pulling out your love. It's pulling out there's a hook on that. But of course, it comes under the guise of pleasure. It's pleasure, but there's a hook. And it's snatching your soul. But you don't know that. You don't know that because you're so busy enjoying that physical pleasure, enjoying the touch of a man, enjoying being given to, especially if you come from a home like myself where your father was not even in the picture. He didn't give you anything, not even affection. He didn't even give you presents. And so you have a man that's giving you, when really he's taking. There's a hook snatching your eternity, snatching your legacy. How many young men have laid down with the man and have inherited nothing but an HIV diagnosis? Just today I saw another young man who died of HIV. He was young. Probably not taking his medications, probably just his viral load going up, probably just going out there sleeping with a bunch of randoms, just dealing with the shock and the despair and the grief of having a diagnosis. So he died early. And just thinking how a penis acts as, or comes across as, a gift when really it's snatching your legacy. When I think about all the beautiful gay men that had something more to say in life, the writers, the dancers, the artists, they had so much more to tell us, but their lives were short-circuited because of lust. They had so many wonderful things to say to us, gifts that they could have imparted to us, gifts of knowledge, of wisdom that we needed, but they were snatched because of lust. I was thinking today of something that was very powerful for me. I was asking myself, these men of today, the gay men of today, they don't really invite you on dates. And the funny thing is this, and please hear me when I say this, please hear me. And I'm speaking to gay men because I think we need to hear this. Gay men have the capacity for invitation. They have the capacity for invitation. You see it. They invite you to their home for sex. They ask you, can you host? And they invite themselves over to your home, or they invite you to their home, where they place you on your knees to degrade you, But the point is, they invite you, but yet and still, they do not invite you to go out to dinner, do not invite you to have a cup of coffee, do not invite you to go for a walk, don't invite you on a date, but they invite you to your own destruction. They invite you to degradation. You know, they want to come on over. So it's like they have the capacity to invite you places, but they choose to invite you to dark places. They choose to invite you to dangerous places. They don't want to protect you. They don't mind putting you in danger. And just coming to the realization of that, realizing from my own experience how very few men wanted to invite me on a date. They never invited me to a movie or to dinner. They never invited me to meet their parents. I was their secret. You know, I was not valuable enough or worthy enough to meet their parents, but I was worthy enough to lay under them. I was worthy enough to get destroyed by them. You know, they deemed me worthy of that. But I wasn't worth it to meet their parents. I wasn't worth it for them to spend money on me and take me on a real date. But I was worthy of a cum shot that might potentially disrupt my entire system. I was worthy of being given loose fragments of diseased DNA, you know, that would only potentially bring me to the clinic and disrupt my entire system. I was worth that. I was worth a copay, but I wasn't worth them paying for a date. And the funny thing is, I had to pay the copay. I'm the one that has to pay the copay. You go to your doctor's office, you got to pay a copay. Funny. Copay. Just the word, copay. Co meaning two. Where was the other period? Like when I think about my trips to the clinic, getting tested for disease and getting tested for certain things, where were these partners? Where were these people at? Were they helping me pay the copay? They were not helping me pay the copay. I was alone paying that copay as I had to wait in agony for my test results. Thankfully, I was negative by the grace of God. But at the same time, I've talked to so many young men who have not been as fortunate. And so when I'm thinking about it, we as gay men have the capacity for invitation, but we keep on inviting people to their own destruction. We keep on inviting them to the party of their own annihilation. We don't invite them to a place of worship where they can get strong and where they can build themselves up spiritually. We don't invite them to read the scriptures where they can get insight. We don't invite them to the table of God. We always invite them to the table of demons. Have you noticed that? When was the last time in your experience, and I want all gay men to listen to me as I say this, when was the last time a man asked you to come to his place of worship? No, instead he asks you to worship his cock. He wants you to worship at the altar of his balls. He wants you to worship at the altar of his behind. He wants you to, quote, destroy me. Does that set right with y'all? Because I'm going to be honest, it does not set right with me. That's why I jacked out of the matrix. And so this is what I think about when I'm reminding myself and I'm tempted to go back into that cesspool. It was nothing. It was torture. It was torture. And I'm going to be real. In the beginning, it was fun. It was fun, the late nights, early mornings, the experiences, the casual sex, the relief, going out with people that you thought were your friends, taking pictures arm in arm with these new friends, feeling like you're going somewhere, when really you're walking in place. You're not going anywhere. You're wasting time. You're getting that much closer to your inevitable diagnosis. Is that what you want? And there's so many distractions in the life, so many distractions, from the bathhouses to the bars, to the clubs, to the balls, to the parades. There's so many distractions to keep you wound up in this cycle of confusion. And am I saying gay men are bad people? No. I met some beautiful gay men, talented, wonderful. But I gotta admit, we are a lost generation. We're committed. We are committed to our own destruction. And it's like we have a built-in self-destruct button that we keep on pressing. Keep on pressing. And we can talk about the cause of that. Historically, definitely people have ostracized, hurt, killed gay men, and that's wrong. I want to make that clear. I am not an advocate for abusing anyone who is of the gay community, of the LGBT community. Never that. What I am an advocate of is leading them and myself to a place of salvation, to a place of peace, to a place of genuine love, not this perfunctory love that just keeps on celebrating your demise and clapping for you and saying as you go down the drain, as you circle the drain, oh baby, you were born this way, I was born this way, just celebrating your demise. I'm not going to do that, because true love, when it's true, is going to offer you that constructive feedback. It's going to tell you that this is not correct. There's something about this that does not feel correct. There's something about getting on these apps, meeting strangers, spending all of 15, 30 minutes with them, and then going home and pretending as though they never even existed. There's something about that don't set right. But I think oftentimes we have normalized dysfunction as gay men. We've normalized this. We've normalized this. We have normalized this dysfunction to the point where anything else seems unrealistic, anything else seems impossible, anything else seems fantastical, like we're delusional, because we want other things like spiritual elevation, genuine love, God. We've got to be crazy. But I tell you this, I'm not crazy. What I am is waking up and feeling like there's something wrong here. Take a moment and step back from the life and step back from your own desires, because that's the thing also, when you are in the midst of desire, when you are horny, your judgment is cloudy, period. All you want is what you want. You want to get off. You want relief. But once you get that relief, it's the same cycle. You feel that sense of emptiness, that hollowness, and you keep on feeling more boys in the hole. You keep on putting more boys in your hole. More boys in the hole. More boys. I need more boys, more boys, more boys. You have all these boys in your hole and you're still empty. A house of homelessness. That's what it is. A hollow house of homelessness. We are housed by lust, but then abandoned and turn to dust. That's us. That's us. And it's just too much. You know, the cost ain't worth the price. And that's when you have to reevaluate your life. When the cost ain't worth the price. This is costing me my life. This is costing me my love. This is costing me my faith. This is costing me my good feelings. It's costing me too much. And I'm paying so much. And the pleasure ain't worth it. After a while, you start to realize that, okay, all right, I've been here before. I know what it's like to nut. I've experienced that. It ain't worth it. There's no futures here. Only a series and a sea of relational failures. And then you look back, you look at all the men you've dealt with, all the people that you've allowed to degrade you. You look back, all the men that you've laid up with and you were the freak for. You were the freak. You were the freak. You gave the best slop top. You did it all. You did it all. Where are those men now? You were just a story to tell. They never imagined a future with you. You were just a story to tell. You were just their experience. You were an experience, and as you get older, you get tired of being some man's experience. You want to be someone's future. You don't want to be just another story they tell to their friends. You want to be loved. You want to be valued. You want to be included. You want to build a legacy, not have your legacy threatened by a bunch of broken men who just want to experiment with your body and with your soul and have no idea that they're putting you at risk of damnation. They're putting you at risk of infection. They're putting you at risk of spiritual annihilation, but they don't know this. So how could they ever protect you? See, people can only protect you at a level that they feel protected. They don't protect themselves. How the hell are they going to protect you? And that's the thing. We have to wake up to these realities, but oftentimes lust will blind you. Lust will impair your judgment. All you want, I'm feeling this intense desire. It's intense. I just say this, how to deal with those moments of intense desire? Well, you got to stay busy. One, stay busy. Stay busy, preferably in service to Jehovah, in service to God, in service to the Lord. You know, in service to God. You got to stay busy. Cure for loneliness, oftentimes we also sexualize our feelings of loneliness. So the cure for that is involvement. You have to involve yourself in something, and something constructive, something healthy. That definitely helps. Another thing that helps is reminding yourself why you wanted to leave this life in the first place, why you wanted out of this life. Think about all the experiences that you had that motivated you to just no longer want to deal with these broke down men. Now, are you going to win every battle? You're not going to win every battle. The truth is, you might not win every battle, but that don't mean you stop fighting the war. You keep on fighting the war. And that's what I tell myself. I keep on fighting the war because I'm worth it. I'm worth the fight. You know, so many men in my life made me feel as though I was not worth it. They tried to make me feel like I was worthless. But I know that with every fight that I win, I'm proving them wrong. I'm saying to myself, I am worth it. You are worth being valued. You are worth being respected. You're worth the effort and the energy. You're worth being invested in. You're worth an invitation to goodness, an invitation to healing. And me personally, I get that invitation from God. I am being called by God. He's inviting me to experience a love story that I've never experienced before with a man. To experience a love story that is faithful and true. I've never experienced that with a man. There's always been some element of infidelity, some element of misrepresentation, some element of lies and deception. And I'm being called to experience a loyal love that's filled and rife with honesty, truth, love, vulnerability, commitment, fidelity. And that's scary because I guess for years I'm a man that can offer that. I don't know about that. I don't know. That's not what I'm used to. But in order to get what I desire, truly, what I want, what I deserve, I have to do something differently. I have to do something different. And so that's what brought me here. I want to do something different. I just don't want to get on the apps or call over a friend. I want to do something different. And so I'm encouraging y'all, definitely try to do something different. Because constantly going down this cycle and this endless merry-go-round, it gets dizzying. It gets tiring after a while. You really get tired. And you ask yourself, there's got to be more than just these empty encounters. There's got to be more than just the late night, early mornings. There's got to be more than just dealing with these broken people who just want to use and destroy me. There's got to be more. And there is more. So thank y'all for listening. Peace.